Welcome to a podcast by opentheword.org, where we discuss a bit of Bible, a bit of life, and a bit of politics.
Hi, my name is Dean Smith, and in this podcast, I want to share the remarkable healing of a 3-month-old baby girl in Corpus Christi, Texas, reported by Sean Akers for Charisma News. Brittany Garza took her daughter Sevilla to a local hospital in Corpus Christi after someone accidentally upended her daughter's stroller. But when Sevilla started having seizures at the hospital, she was immediately transferred to the Driscoll Children's Hospital, where scans revealed the seriousness of Sevilla's condition. They not only found bleeding in Sevilla's brain, but they also found she had 2 broken ribs and a broken collarbone. Brittany, panicked, turned to a friend who attended New Life Church in Corpus Christi, pastored by Mike and Bonnie Filar. When Adrian received Brittany's text, she was at a youth group meeting being led by Mario Corrette, the church's youth pastor. Adrian asked Corrette if he would go with her to the hospital and pray for Sevilla. After arriving at the hospital, Corrette told Brittany that he was going to, quote, going to pray by the blood and stripes of Jesus, unquote, that her daughter would be healed. Corrette said that the church had seen instantaneous miracles in the past and added that he was believing for Sevilla, quote, to be discharged the next day. Almost prophetically, the next morning there was miraculous news. The doctors had decided to perform a second brain scan on Sevilla, but were shocked when they could not see the brain swelling or bleeding that had appeared on the scan the day earlier. With this immediate danger gone, they decided to let Brittany take Sevilla home with instructions to return in 3 days for a follow-up scan of her brain. The doctors also wanted to check on the broken collarbone and ribs in case they required additional medical intervention, such as a cast. 3 days later, the doctors were baffled again when the follow-up scans not only revealed that Sevilla's brain was fine, but strangely, the collarbone and ribs no longer showed any signs of being broken. Either all 3 previous scans were wrong, or Sevilla had been miraculously healed. When Pastor Corrette referred to Sevilla receiving healing through Christ's stripes, he was referring to Isaiah 53, verse 5, where the prophet foresaw how physical healing would be available through the suffering of the Jewish Messiah. We read, quote, "But he was pierced for our sins and crushed for our iniquity. He bore the punishment that makes us whole. By his wounds we were healed," unquote. It was a prophetic picture of the death of Jesus Christ on the cross. In this verse, we read that healing would come through the wounds that Jesus received during his crucifixion. Other versions translate the Hebrew word as stripes, and it referred to the flogging and beating that Jesus received at the hands of the Roman guards, who used whips with shards of pottery or sharp stones attached at the end. It was a merciless punishment that would rip open the flesh on a person's back, and it was through this brutal beating that Christ brought healing to the world. But the Apostle Peter brings an interesting twist to this verse from Isaiah when he tells believers this healing is available today. We read, quote, "He himself bore our sins in his body upon the cross, so that free from sin we might live for righteousness. By his wounds you have been healed." 1 Peter 2:24. But did you notice the tense? Peter says that you have been healed. It is in the past tense. It has already happened. In other words, our healing has already taken place. It is a matter of perspective. We are not praying for a healing, but rather to access the healing that has already been provided through Christ's death and is available by faith. and a strange thing happened with Sevilla. And it's not the first time that I've heard of this happening. Not only did this 3-month-old baby get healed of a brain bleed, broken collarbone, and 2 broken ribs, but it seems she was healed of something that Corette hadn't even specifically prayed for. Brittany said prior to the accident, Sevilla was having metabolism problems and not gaining weight. In the 3 days following her accident, which included a stay at the hospital, Sevilla put on 4 pounds. Because of what Christ suffered on the cross, we have received healing, past tense. Now, believe it.
Thanks again for joining us on our podcast. Please check out our website at opentheword.org. If you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe to receive notifications of future broadcasts. As well, please take a moment to provide a rating and even a review. Thanks again for listening.